Welcome to one more edition of Politics Done Right. As you guys know, we do both local, state, and national. Right now, we are with the next, what I'm going to call the next county commissioner from Precinct 3. When I make these predictions, it usually works out. Diana Martinez. Diana Martinez, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I am doing great. Look, I've been wanting to talk to you and bring you on for some time now because, all I keep hearing is about Diana. Diana is going to change the paradigm. It's no longer going to be the good old boy network. We are going, just like we got Lee Nadel going there, we are now going to get Diana Martinez in there. So Diana, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Sure. So I'm a veteran educator, a mom and a wife, and longtime resident of Houston. And I thought that voting was enough. But apparently in November 2016, I got a rough lesson and started stepping up to do more. So I got activated, got involved in different organizations like Indivisible Houston, Pantsuit Republic Houston, Pantsuit Republic State at the leadership level, and decided that with my organization skills and experience, it was time to step it up to the next level, and I can be the next county commissioner to make a real change for Precinct 3.
Now, let me tell you something, Deanna, because the truth of the matter is I am a fanatic for teachers, okay? I've written so many articles stating that teachers are one of the most underpaid profession, yet the very most important profession in society, bar none, the ones that move knowledge forward. So anytime I hear that a teacher tells me they are wanting to get into a political office, I know things are going to be well done. So right now, Steve Radek is decided that he no longer is going to occupy that chair. I don't know if he was going to win it anyway. Now tell me, why are you more suited for the position than your current competitor?
So yes, we do have the runoff in July, July 14th. And, I've been asked, like, well, if you're running, why aren't you running for school board or something more connected to education? But the fact is that teachers and educators are so used to measuring data, making long-term and short-term plans, assessing things very quickly, being flexible, being responsive. And those are the skills that I can bring to the table, as well as empathy, communication. And the fact is that policies affect people. And if you don't have people in those seats that are going to represent the needs of working families in Precinct 3, then it's just going to be more of the same. And so we have a real opportunity now that Steve Radek is no longer running for that seat, to have somebody who's really going to fight to make a difference for those families.
Now, tell me a little bit about your precinct. What makes you similarly matched with that precinct?
Sure. So Precinct 3 is increasingly diverse, and a lot of Democratic candidates that maybe didn't have a chance before to win elections have won elections, like Lizzie, and Beto had a strong showing in Precinct 3. Andrea Duhan had a strong showing in Precinct 3, and so the pendulum is swinging to more progressive candidates. Mike Siegel is out there. He has a strong chance to win in his election. And so we're making inroads in listening to what people need. People want something different. They want to have access to services. They're really concerned about flooding and infrastructure and climate change. And so those are things that are important to everyone. So we can serve the people of Precinct 3 while making sure that we look at gaps to access and barriers to resources for those people who have been left behind. So you can do all of that at once.
Now, what's the most important need in Precinct 3? I mean, I know there are certain precincts that get quite a bit, and Radek was pretty good at getting stuff for his precinct. What do you think is necessary in your precinct to help those who have, in your own parlance, left behind in receiving what they deserve from the particular district, particular
Well,
precinct?
I'll give you two examples. We have some Head Start centers that are funded by Baker Ripley. We don't have a lot of county resources as far as Head Starts. There's one in Spring Branch, but other than that, there's none on the north or west sides of town, and that's an area that's growing, and people could access those resources for their children. In addition, we need to have equal distribution of clinics in Precinct 3. Our population is growing, and I know we have the constraints of the budget limitations by the state and Texas legislature, but we have some ability to make sure that we're being very cautious and strategic with our funds to make sure they're going towards people.
Now, what do you expect your working relationship with Lee Nadel, councilman, or rather, what's his name, Rodney Ellis and Garcia?
So they have been working on some fabulous policy that affect people. Just today, they are discussing how to make reforms in law enforcement and at the county level, and that's
Right.
critical. So I've been watching how Judge Hidalgo has been making decisions with using data, using science, and relying on experts to make sure that she's ensuring the public health. That's critical. And also, when we're approaching things like evictions, and we're approaching other bail reform measures, and things that affect, the entirety of the county, they are on the right track. So I'm really happy with the trajectory of the Commissioners Court, and I hope to join them and continue that work, and also dig into the area of a climate crisis plan for the county. There is no other county in Texas that has a climate crisis plan. Other counties in the nation do, and so we can be the first one. We can be a leader.
Explain, what does that really mean? Climate crisis, yeah.
Yes. So you know how Houston has a climate plan. So we could have one at the county level to encourage businesses to use more green strategies, to focus transportation policy, to work on our infrastructure as a county with our buildings and vehicles to make sure that we're using the most ecologically sound practices possible. So if we do that, then we can access our academic resources like Kinder and other universities nearby to get their resources and information and research to build a plan that makes sense for us. We have been victims in this. Basically every time it storms, or since we're in hurricane season, we all get paralyzed with fear. So it's a form of PTSD that I think we have collectively, but if we move forward with some sort of solution, then we can frame things in a positive way and not be victims anymore. We can be leaders.
Now, we're currently in a pandemic. The truth of the matter is there's very little that we know as far as how we're going to get out of this thing. Mm-hmm. I sit down and I do the numbers. I just don't know what we are going to do. Right now, as it turns out, the county is likely going to have quite a bit less money to work with. There's a good possibility that because of what I think is an impending big turn down, possibly a depression, that our values, our real estate values are going to be depressed, or tax base is going to be depressed. And above, we'll have more costs with sick people. Mm-hmm. How are we possibly going to handle that? And are these things that you've already given thought to, so that you can bring a fresh thought process to the chamber?
So whatever decisions that we make have to be people-centered. We have to realize that these decisions hold weight, and people have value, and we can't just be dismissive about some sort of item because we can't understand the value. So it looks like taking other people's views into perspective and really trying to base it on what's the moral thing to do, but also, just trying to choose the best path. Maybe when you don't have a good choice, try to choose the best choice out of what we have available. So that takes a lot of tough decision making, but it means that you have to rely on the people who are advising you and make sure that you have good people next to you to give you the best information in which to make that decision. So it's not a singular job, it's a team effort, and it means that you have to consult and talk to stakeholders and really be listening to what their concerns are so you can move forward with the best choice.
Deanna, I'm going to tell you something. The answer that is such a prescient answer, beautiful answer. I interview a whole lot of people, and I asked a guy, I don't remember what he was running for. I asked him, what are you going to do? How are you going to solve this particular problem? And he looked at me and he said, I don't know, but we have to see how it's going to affect the business community. I asked you a similar question, and your first thing is whatever we do has to be people-centric. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, most politicians do not think, in as much as they preach it, think people-centric first. It's all about how it affects business, how it affects the bottom line. So I think it is great to have somebody that is running. I'm not going to call you a politician. I'm going to call you a teacher that's running. I think it is great that is first and foremost what you think of. Now, please, what haven't I asked you that you would like to put out there?
Well, I know that my experience looks different, but the thing is that we need to have different voices at the table, and I'm really excited about this opportunity. People believe in what we've been talking about, believe in our platform, and they believe in this campaign, and that's been evident with the response we got in the primary. I was just hoping to make it into the runoff, and then I ended up being the leader in the election. And so I really hope to continue that momentum, reaching out to different people in the community so they know that I'm here. I give nightly updates at 8 p.m. on my Facebook page every night to talk about different items, concerns. I've had special guests like therapists and somebody from the food bank, because this is all important information. And when people have information, they're less scared. That's what we need right now.
Different perspectives is important. The same perspective leads you into oblivion. How can people help your campaign? How can people find a way to donate to you? I mean, we want to make sure that grassroots campaigns are funded. How can they help you?
So they can visit DianaAlexander2020.com, and there's a place to donate there, and also to connect to get emails and information. We are outreaching to voters right now, and if they're interested in helping, there's an option to sign up for volunteering. And
when is your election, Deanna?
It is July 14th. Early voting starts June 29th, and it lasts till July 10th. So it's coming up pretty soon.
Excellent. Well, Deanna Martinez, thank you so kindly for, I better start. How do you appear on the ballot? What's the name on the ballot?
Diana Martinez Alexander is how I'm on the ballot.
Diana Martinez Alexander, thank you so kindly for having been with Politics Done Right. You have a wonderful rest of your day.
I appreciate it. Thanks so much for having me on.
I'm Egberto Willies, host of Politics Done Right, an independent news program. I post several news videos of interest every day. I ask you so kindly to subscribe to my channel, and please leave me some comments. Thank you very much.